Here is an update on my final project. I actually ended up changing a whole lot of stuff, and it's based on going through my website, which I have on the screen. And the focus of this project is under teacher time. And my presentation that you saw briefly in the previous screen cast was a different one. So I took a whole new view and revamped the entire thing. And this is my new presentation, Got Accessibility. And my project is based on a PowerPoint presentation. And what I decided to do was take parts of an old one and incorporate all the new design elements, layout, and change what I did while teaching something new. So I'm kind of doing two things in one. So I took an old project that I had on assistive technology and what OT does, and researched a whole bunch of new things and how to present and what I did before to what I would do now. So I took it slide by slide. This is my old slide. And this is how I would enter accessibility in my new slide, using updated terms and language, using pictures to support content, to grab attention, also to help with different visual learners, giving the idea of what we're doing. I use Arial font. A long time ago, I learned from a woman from the Commission of the Blind that Arial size 12 or 14 is the easiest to read visually. So I always tend to follow that rule, and I've been successful with it. So one of the other things is staying consistent throughout the presentation. And this would be my new slide. Some pictures, changing updated terminology, and keeping it simple but eye-catching. And I did this with a few of the slides, an old one of presentation overview, using simpler numbers and having adequate space between the lines and easier to see. And this way, if someone puts voice over the words, it will follow easier as it does it. And this is another old slide. And what I did was used stylish differences to highlight the important content, to avoid underlining if it wasn't something that didn't have a link to it, because it is known that if it's underlined, there tends to be a link involved. Using clear headings, bold print, changing color. This is an old one. And using simple bullets, using bold and or italic, changing color, using fewer words, keeping it simple, highlighting important things. And then I did this one, used the concept of white space, which is something I lacked in a lot of them, as you'll see going through if you view, and blocking off things that separate content to make it easier to find or see. Adding a picture that's the same wording, but adding in, wow, that has to do with something about people and working on doing things, letting them, experience activities and things. So you kind of have a new outlook on the slide. Very bland, really wouldn't have any interest in looking at it. And then, using the white space, but adding some texture to an element to make it pop using pictures, and keeping it not too distracting. All right, sorry for the interruption. I had to pause for a second. But anyway, using a textural background like the cork board, putting pictures, kind of emphasizing what the content of the wording below is, that is for occupational therapy. I also did this, I used arrows and different things. They always say use very simple bullets, wording so the text is easy to find, and use an unlikely image sometimes, or humor, to make a point and capture attention. So here I put in, a teacher is the front line, and put the front line for, racers in running. So it was kind of like making a point. People were like, oh, what is that for? Because it's a little out of the context. So I really tried to emphasize and really focus on accessibility for different learners, as well as you know, presenting content to keep attention. So here, this one, who would even look at that? And then I changed it, you know, entering access, cutting out all the extra words and clutter, you know, which can make it confusing and hard to read. And use white space with simple numerical order, creating a nice visual flow. And there's the new slide. So you can see such a huge difference. I also tried down through some of these is, you know, taking plain statements, kind of trying to make them pop, separating it, you know, with important words drawing to the attention here, and even trying to add a little voice because you can read. Oh, it might not let me do it here. I wonder why. Oh, did I do it? There we
You
go.
can also read a statement in a slide so that the students can hear and see the content at the same time and follow along. So you could read the slide saying like, this process helps to analyze the performance skills of the students.
So you get the idea. You can have a link for people to listen, making it more accessible and easy to follow. These ones I'm still working on, these slides, the before and after. As you can see, I do need a little bit of work in these. But I did add a few new ones down here with focusing on Windows and Microsoft Office, because they have set a nice platform for integrating technology through their programs by having built-in tools for accessibility, helping teachers with their presentations, as well as having options in there to help students. They have fabulous, where are we? They have fabulous resources for teachers, one curriculum resource for special ed on both Windows 7 and Office, and a guide for educators on accessibility, which is fabulous. So there's direct links to those, which is nice for the presentation, someone viewing it. I added voice to a picture down here. I used different images for visual attention. So I used a real picture, I used a cartoon, and the cartoon, when I added, you know, ultimately hearing less of,
I can't do this.
You know, kind of adding a little fun thing to it. There was speech recognition software in this tool is incredibly easy to use. I was amazed how easy it was. It wasn't like the old school Dragon dictation where you had to sit and program. It is very quick to learn it. And I'm going to show you a sample of it as we go down, because that's also part of it. Adding a screen demonstration like I'm doing this to, you know, using speech recognition software there's built in. It says it's not available. I wonder what happened. So hence there's a problem, which I guess can happen, and I'm not really sure why. I will maybe do a second one to show you how that works. I don't know why it's not working. But anyway, the concept of it is being able to dictate anything to a Word document. I even made mistakes in it and said undo and delete, making it easy to use. It also supports the true meaning of integrating technology as an integrated experience, because all the students in a class now can use the same program and still do the same things, whether dictating in it, whether using pictures, using different fonts and colors. It's just an amazing tool that really really helps a teacher work with all students. And here they even mention, you know, how important it is to recognize, identifying and assessing a student's needs, you know, consulting with a therapist, which I was pleasantly surprised to see they even reference in here, to many assistive technology centers and occupational therapists have accessibility consultation to help individuals, which is what we do. So that was kind of nice and reassuring. And putting more resources in and having links to, you know, my website, which where this is, but, you know, sending me a video email with questions and I can answer back, which I've also used this summer videoing some of the kids doing some of their projects or things that were difficult, and they did them, and I emailed the little video to the parents, and they were absolutely thrilled. And what's nice about MailView is that you can delete it or have it set up for a certain amount of time, and it really connects parents to seeing what kids are doing. So this was my project that's still a work in process, but this was the concept that I had, sharing information. It's, you know, taking the old with the new and really focusing in on, you know, providing information through a web-based resource and supporting the research as this is an effective method of sharing information with teachers and parents and other school districts. And you know, having this information there, increasing awareness, working, you know, with a limited amount of time. You can come and check it out real quick. Oh, I could do that, and, you know, look it up. You know, helping more and, you know, really integrating a diverse population that we all have. So you know, the project was really to create this presentation, you know, and focus in on the assistive technology, which the presentation is about, but I adapted the presentation to make it more accessible and showing how I changed it to do so in this. So I'm going to try and get the other screencast up if I can, but this is kind of it, where I ended up after my last talking. So wish everyone good luck, and talk to you guys soon. Bye.